Hello, you are on the Alice Reddit Stories channel. More than 90% watch my videos without a subscription. Subscribe to the channel so we always stay in touch. Enjoy watching. Story 1. OOP. After 10 years, I finally took my hijab off. Honestly, just how the title goes, I've had a really hard time ever since I started to wear it. No one talked to me. People in my town, usually the people I knew from school or from other social events, bullied me and called me a terrorist, which I later ignored and just kept to myself. Now that I've taken it off, I feel confident again. I'm not as shy as I was in the recent years, and it's just exhilarating. I feel comfortable in my body. I feel more confident, and I love doing hairstyles on myself to boost more of my confidence, and I love it. I don't regret it at all. I'm becoming at peace with my body, and I love the way I get admired for my hair and how healthy and grown it is, and I love it so much. Update. Okay, let me just start off by saying my post got a lot more attention than I thought, and I didn't mean it to go this far. Now, I have been getting comments on my post and some private ones, and I'm thankful for the people who said nice things and were supporting. It means a lot, and I love you guys for cheering me up. And as for the awards, I don't know what any of them are because this is my first time receiving them, but I'll look into that, and thanks, I appreciate that too. I just wanted to make an update because people are asking the same questions on my DMs as other people, so I just wanted to give a little more context. I've worn my hijab for 10 years and no, it wasn't for the right reason. I only wore it to hide my secret and shame and not let people make fun of me the way they did. This will be my first time talking about, so it'll be hard to just come out with it. For the people who asked why I took it off in the first place, it is because I was finally feeling a whole lot better in my own body than before. My hair has grown into something I've learned to love, and it feels so good not to hide away constantly. As for my reasoning, I don't want to share that side of the story. I was humiliated and felt so disgusted that it left me in pieces after, and I only took my hijab off because I didn't want to wear it anymore and was finally feeling at peace with my body. So, I have a condition called trichotillomania. It's basically a condition where you have the urge to rip out your own hair. For me specifically, I rip it out of my head, and no, it doesn't hurt because I was used to it. If you guys want to know more about it, then by all means, research the topic. I'm not the only person who's suffered with it. I have suffered with it for 19 years and only now got it in control. This was the time where I also took my hijab off because I was feeling more me now than I was before I could control myself. I shaved my head 2 years ago and let my hair grow. It was honestly the best decision in my life because now I have an amazing set of hair that goes past my shoulders. I love it. I love not missing out on hairstyles because my hair was too damaged to do one in the first place, and I love that I get compliments on it too. It honestly is the best experience I've ever had, and I love the way it's changed me. As of wearing the hijab, I only wore it to hide my severely damaged head. I didn't want to get bullied for this too, something this out of control, and for me to acknowledge. I didn't want to go through the hurt, and that's why I started wearing it. Anyway, that was the reason I wore it, so I hope that answered your questions. And for the people who were mean about this, don't comment if you don't know the whole story. I just didn't want to say anything because I was ashamed, and not many people are aware of the conditions, which prompted me to post an updated version of an explanation, which I don't think you guys needed, but I wanted to come out of my shell and tell someone my secret because then it'll be less lonely. And please stop fighting/arguing. It doesn't do anyone any good, and the people who only sent negativity are just trying to get a rise out of you. Just leave them alone. They must be truly lonely if they have nothing better to do than to send hate comments to me and to the people who defended me. Honestly, thought the community I classed myself in had more love than that, but clearly I was wrong again. Thank you for all the love and support, and again, this is purely just to raise awareness of the issue and let the people who went through something similar know that it's okay and to not suffer in silence. You can do this. I believe in you. By the way, just because I took my hijab off doesn't mean I lost my faith. I'm still connected to God just like most of you here, and I've never, nor will I, ever turn my back on my religion. This was my decision and mine alone. I don't need people commenting hurtful things, and if you do, respectfully go away. I don't need it here or in my life. As for the anti-Karens, please leave me alone. I don't need your threats, nor do I need your insights. This was purely my decision, and I've never felt more better about it. And before you start judging, know the story first and then comment, because clearly you must be a sad and lonely person to diminish me and make me feel worthless. It honestly ed that some of you think women have no rights and should be told to act accordingly. Don't forget to support my channel by subscribing, thank you. Story 2. AITA for refusing to play nice to my father's GF and by doing do preventing them from moving in together? Some background info. My mother, 37, had me, 20M, at 17. She was never a mother to me, and I was raised by my grandparents and later my uncle, 34. When I was 8, my grandma got sick and my uncle, who was 22 at the time, started taking me in and I moved with him full-time at 12. I only saw my mother for family events and she was always criticizing me. How I looked, my hobbies, what I liked. By 14, I refused to talk and/or see her. When I was 18, my uncle proposed to legally adopt me. I decided to go see my mother one last time to inform her and have some closure. During this talk, she told me my father's name. I talked to my family about him, and long story short, basically everyone know him. I decided to try to meet him with my uncle. He, 36, moved back a few years back to be close to his family, and he took everything pretty well. I made sure to inform him that I already had a dad. He told me he had no children and was interested in knowing me. He presented me to his parents, and they even found some pictures of me with him from before he went to college. For the last 2 years we had a pretty great relationship. He also got along well with my uncle. At college I call him once a week and I see him pretty often. The issue is his GF Anna. They don't live together and have been a couple for over 3 years. She made it clear that I had no place here. After a few encounters with her, she reminded me so much of my mom, her attitude, her remarks and critics, that I refused to go see him for a while. I think he realized, because he told me that she didn't need to be here every time, only see her when I go to eat with him at his parents'. She still's managed to make it clear that I don't belong in this family. When I ask questions, she tells me stuff like, if you were really a part of the family you should know, always pointing physical differences. So it was a surprise when she called me last week. Though it was an emergency, so I answered. She told me that she wanted to move in with my dad, but he refused because he knows we don't get along, and he wanted his house to be a safe place for me, and he was afraid I would come by less if she was here all the time. It's the truth. She then told me I should put my grudges aside and try to be nicer to her for my father's sake. I told her no. I had years of therapy to be able to remove toxic people from my life, and being with her is like being with my mom. I do not want to put myself in this kind of situation anymore. I talked to my uncle and he agrees. For him, my mental health should always be my top priority, but some other people think that I should at least make an effort for my father's happiness and that it would be selfish to not try. Commenter asks about Biodad. Oh, sorry if I wasn't explicit enough in my post. It's hard to explain well with the character limit. My Biodad never knew I was his son until 2 years ago. My mom always told us my father was a summer fling, and she didn't know who he was. My Biodad lived in the same town as my great-grandparents, so they all were kind of summer/holidays friends. He and his family met me, but in their eyes I was the new grandkid. My grandparents and his parents were close, so they used to have dinner and spend afternoon together. Until he left for good, I used to see him sometimes during holidays. So at first I wasn't sure about making an update, but the comments I got really helped me. You were all saying what my uncle and some friends were saying to me, but it's different hearing it from people who don't know me and aren't biased. After reading your comments, I realized what the issue was. When I explain my family situation to people, a lot of them, not close friends and immediate family, say the same thing how lucky I am to have a bio dad who wants and agrees to spend time to get to know me, how grateful I should be. My bio dad or his family never made me feel like that, but I guess that after hearing a lot of people saying it, it kind of got to me and I realized now that I was restraining myself to not disappoint him. I guess in my mind I had to work and be nice to have his affection because I did not deserve it. You can blame my bio mom for that. Anyway, after realizing that, I also realized that I never told him and his parents how his GF was treating me, and I also realized she was smart enough to do it when they were all out of earshot. I'm a non-confrontational person and I was scared to say everything at once to my bio dad, and I was afraid to not be able to express properly everything I wanted to convey. I talked to my uncle about it and he proposed to make an appointment with a therapist to have a kind of family session so it would be easier for me to express myself. We did it before in our family and it helped me a lot. We talked about it to my bio dad and he immediately agreed. He could sense that something was off anyway. During the session I kind of exploded. I started talking and couldn't stop myself. At first I felt that it made no sense because I was saying everything and nothing at once, but luckily the therapist helped a lot. We all had a very long talk and put everything on the table. My bio dad had no idea that it was this bad with his GF and he was really appalled and remorseful for not realizing it. Something that angered him and my uncle a lot was the comment about me not looking like my dad, which I never took notice of because it's true. My mom and uncle are half Filipino, and I took everything from the Filipino side except his dimples. Apparently the comments about me not being part of the family was because of my racial background. So yeah, on top of everything she was racist. All of this happened last month and since then he broke up with her. And I try to be more honest about what I feel without being afraid of what he thinks. He also proposed to continue family therapy if I feel like it would help me talk about certain topics. This relationship is still a work in progress, but honestly I feel very good about it. And some of you asked, but yes, my uncle adopted me when I turned 18. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel, there are a lot of interesting stories ahead of you.